Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Manisha, and today's video I wanted to be a spooky reading vlog. So Halloween is in 4 days and I don't feel in the least bit spooky. So I am going to try and read and do things that are gonna get me into the vibes. And I'm just gonna hope for the best because I really want to feel a little spooked, a little scary, a little bit like, I don't know. I just want to feel a little chilly. I just want to feel like how I did as a kid. You're excited, you're feeling like everything is good vibes, you have that atmosphere surrounding you, and you're just so excited. And I just want to recreate that this year. So I thought, let me just start by trying to read some books that are hopefully going to get me into the mood. So I thought I would start off with Tender Beasts by Liselle Sambury. So this book is following our main character Sunny, who is a witness to a murder of a girl at her school. And she ends up finding her brother there at the crime scene with blood on his hands. And he's saying he's innocent, so she starts digging into this murder. And she ends up finding more and more secrets coming out about her entire family. And so then she has to kind of grapple with if she wants to expose all of these secrets about her family or prove the innocence of this brother she doesn't really know. I'm intrigued. I have already started it. I'm about 30 minutes into it and I am vibing heavily. It's very good. I'm really enjoying that it takes place in Canada because you don't really find that very often. It's usually this small Connecticut town or Massachusetts town or wherever, so it's kind of fun. Okay, so it is in fact a little chilly outside, so I've layered up. This is the look. I'm gonna head to school and I'm gonna continue listening to Tender Beasts on audio. Okay, so obviously wanted to yap about Tender Beasts. So right now, I am just enjoying this book so much more than I even thought. Like, of course I went in thinking the premise was really interesting, but this is just blowing me away. I really am enjoying this book because, one, the author is just so artful in being able to capture characters in a way that it doesn't feel like we're stalling so long and like really spending so much time like on all these side characters. We're just getting what feels like very brief kind of glimpses into different characters, but we just have that sense as a reader that we really understand them. And I just think that's such a talent. Like, genuinely. I feel like that's so difficult to do, but I'm blown away by that. It's just so rich in terms of characters and just being immersed in this world of our main character. And then being in Sunny's mind, I think, is such an interesting choice because she had a very different dynamic with her mother as compared to the rest of her siblings. But we also see that she has a lot of internal struggle within her because of that. And that's also kind of leading us into these conversations that she's having with her siblings, where her and her siblings didn't have that amazing relationship or seamless relationship that it would appear to with their mother. And of course, this is all coming out now because their mother's dead and she dies in the prologue, so it's not a spoiler. But yeah, I'm really just, again, I'm enjoying this so much because I also went into this book wanting and kind of expecting to have some complex family dynamics and relationship dynamics of all sorts, not just familial. And this book is absolutely giving us that. So it's just phenomenal. It's so good. And I am 36% through now. I don't think I said that yet. And so it obviously has started picking up a little bit. We're getting a lot more information about what's happening with Sunny's brother, and we're getting more background into what happened. We're meeting his friends and stuff like that, or his one friend. And also, I'm enjoying the narrative style that the author chose to kind of tell the story in. So we have obviously Sunny's perspective in current day, where she's going through trying to figure out what's happening at her school and why all these murders are happening and who's behind it. But we're also getting chapters where we get journal entries from her mother when she was a teenager, I believe. And I think this was such a great choice narratively because we as the reader are then always few steps ahead of Sunny in knowing what's happening. And this actually makes the story feel even more scary and ominous. And as we know, that's exactly what I wanted. So I'm really having a good time with this book so far. And I'm so glad I'm starting off with this book, because I was kind of worried because I didn't remember until I got into it that it was YA. So I was like, I don't know if this is gonna be spooky enough for me, but I'm happy to admit that I was wrong. I'm really thoroughly enjoying this. Okay, I think that's it for my book update for today. My plan for the rest of the night is just to watch a scary movie with my boyfriend, and yeah. Hello, welcome to the final day. I finished Tender Beasts last night and absolutely phenomenal. I think I've already really harped on all the important things that I really loved about this book, but I'm gonna do it again. Complex family dynamics. I just love how integral and fleshed out this was in the story. And then going into this book, especially based on the cover, which I absolutely love, the cover artist did such a great job. Oh my gosh. I literally would put this like on my wall. It's so good. But I really wanted a sinister vibe when I was going in because I saw this cover. And man, did this book absolutely deliver. Like absolutely amazing. I love this book and I'm rating it 4.5. And I'm kind of scared to read another book now because this did such a good job. Especially yesterday, I was like walking in like really strong rain, like it was windy, and I was getting like to scarier parts in the book. That was like ultimate ambiance to finish that book on. Absolute joy and pleasure to read that book. I'm now gonna start Graveyard Shift by Emil Rio, and I'm kind of a little bit like, I don't know what to expect because I never read If We Were Villains. So I don't know what to expect based on like her writing and her like style, plot, kind of pacing. But we'll see. It's only a novella, I've learned. So hopefully it'll fly by and it'll still just contribute to the spooky vibes and we can end on a strong note. I realized I did not even explain what this book is about. And it's following these 5 people who are all kind of night shift workers or up at like midnight, and they basically all tend to meet in this church courtyard because they want to take a smoke break, and they find this giant hole dug, and obviously that's a little ominous because this place is not widely used, and I guess they start to disperse and the person that dug the hole comes back and they decide to follow him around, and they think that he might be behind all these creepy things that seem to be happening in the town. Okay, I had a few things to get done, so I took a little break from this book, but I got another hour left in this book, and then I'll be done. So let's finish it up. Oh, I lied. I have an hour and 18 minutes left. So let's finish it. I'm so far enjoying it. It did take a second to kind of fall into the writing for me personally, but you know, it's a quick book, so it kind of is fast-paced, so that kind of helped with the falling into the world and writing and characters and whatnot. Okay, let's finish this.
I'm gonna have to push it to my body, don't work for me. What the fuck they want from me? It ain't been fun for me. Tryna put a price on it, grinding all night for it. Like I'm tryna die for it. Liquor take my mind off it. They can't blow the shine from me. Stay away from me. Don't play with me. I can't take it easy. Too much pain on me. You don't make it easy. Once you offer me, maybe I'm too greedy. No apologies.
Okay guys, I finished Graveyard Shift and I definitely have some thoughts. So first and foremost, I feel like I am kind of impressed by the author's ability to create relationships so quickly, because this book is what, like 145-ish pages, and I think the story is even shorter because a lot of it is just like the acknowledgements and different recipes and a few pages of the prologue of If We Were Villains. So, you know, it's shorter than that. And so I was pretty impressed that the author was able to paint relationships so easily and quickly, and also give us a good sense of the characters' backgrounds and stuff like that pretty easily. Of course, I feel like with novellas, it's kind of hard to really get a good sense of each character, so I think for the actual page count it was done very well, but of course things feel a little bit rushed because there's not a lot of time to tell the story. So it's a little bit more of like a, okay, this is what this character is like, this is what this character is like, and so on. But, you know, it's just the way the novellas work. But I think that this was a very interesting idea, but I think that the synopsis was not quite accurate in really telling me what the book was about, because it made sense like in hindsight to be like, okay, this kind of lines up, but it kind of made me think that we were gonna go into this book with the man that they saw dig that grave being like a serial killer or something, and it was not quite like that. But the synopsis makes it seem like this man is someone really doing nefarious activities around town, and you know what, that's my mistake. I also just think that the actual idea of this book needed more fleshing out, or just needed to be told with a different plot pacing, because it feels like we got like the kind of major event, we figured out what's happening, and then it was like such a sharp decline to like resolution. I think it's also hard because we didn't just stick to one point of view. We were following a bunch of people, and I don't know if that was a great choice for a novella, but then also for telling this type of story. I think there was one specific character that we should have stayed in her head, and she was like the most kind of affected of everyone. Or even if we stuck in two people's heads, like there's another person who is going a little bit through harder times, or even we get like a little bit of like people's context and things like that, but then we stick to one person's perspective throughout the rest of the book. I don't know. I just feel like the way that this book was structured was not right. I don't know if that even makes sense, because it is important that we understand all of the characters, but I just feel like for the story that it didn't really allow the story to flow properly, because it felt like we needed to get back to this person's perspective or this person's life or whatever is happening and resolve this person's goings on. So I didn't love this book, but you know what? It was interesting. I gave it a try. I think that ML Rio's writing, based on this novella alone, could be for me. I think that I enjoy that she writes pretty straightforward, but like it still feels like it has a good flow, and it's nice to read her writing. But yeah, I think maybe this book and the plot was just not for me. So I think I'm gonna rate it a probably 2.75 or 3 stars. Not a bad book at all. It was just not for me. But I think it was a good book to end on. I think that, you know, kind of having Tender Beasts, which, you know, I got exactly what I wanted. I got that spooky spirit, kind of sinister, foreboding things are happening that don't quite line up. And then now I'm getting more of a something's taking over and kind of more, I want to say zombie. Like, there's no zombies in this, but it's giving more The Last of Us than, you know, truly spooky. Like, it's just more like, what's going on? But I think it was interesting. It was good to try. And I think the good thing about this video is that it kind of pushed me to read books that I might have kind of put off, because I feel like Tender Beasts, I had that book like on my TBR, but I knew I wanted to read it around Halloween. And I probably would have pushed it off because, you know, there's lots of books on the TBR, and so it's kind of just whatever's in my mind to like just read right now. But because it's Halloween, I was like, okay, I gotta read some Halloween books, and I like very purposely chose some Halloween books. So I think that this video was kind of a success, and I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and happy Halloween, guys!